Welcome back, everybody, to Quake Pro League. Dan, what's your favorite candy?
I'm lost. What?
What's your favorite candy? Is it Three Musketeers? Because it's about to be. We got DJ Wheat here for the last two featured matches, so let's bring him on board. Wheat, how you been? How you feeling?
Good. I knew the moment you were like, "What's your favorite candy?" This was gonna go places that I wanted to go. So, gentlemen, what's up? It's good to be back. Happy Sunday. Happy Quake Sunday. Seen some great matches, and I'm super excited for the next two we got coming up.
Oh yeah, this one is going to be a good one. RAISY versus Base. I mean, Dan, what do you think about this one? We could talk about play styles all day. I'll let you.
I'm still trying to work out what you just said, but
the candy bar. You've never had a Three
Musketeers. What the hell's a Three Musketeer candy bar? I have no idea.
I just know creatine and whey protein and dumbbells. That's it. What's a Three Musketeer?
D'Artagnan. I don't know what you're talking about, but in this matchup, it's a really interesting one to me because they have almost polar opposites playstyles. Like obviously, Base is synonymous for whatever reason with being quite defensive in some ways, whereas RAISY is the innovative aggressor. I think that's quite disingenuous to Base, but you know, if we put them in those two sides, in those two camps, it is quite interesting because we would expect Basie. What is wrong with me?
Well, you're just smashing them together. That's it. Yeah. This match is Basie. That's what it is.
RAISY to be setting the tempo, trying to go aggressive, and then Base working methodically to counter that in some creative defensive ways. So it is a really interesting contrast of styles.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to what we saw last week in Week 9, where we saw Wenger versus Base, and we said the same things, right? An interesting mishmash of styles, and how are they going to play out? And last week's matchup, Wenger pulled it out 2-1, but we got some real close games. Like, I expect we're going to see something similar here between these two.
I think that's well within the realm of possibilities, but there's also that kind of it factor with RAISY where he can just pop off and just all of a sudden snowball, and you're looking at a 3-0, maybe even a couple of gauntlet kills on top of that. So we'll see exactly what we're in store for. I think the pick bands are ready, so if we can get into that, maybe that'll help us paint a picture. Dan, maybe you could break that down for us. So it looks like Awoken's, Ruins, and Molten. In terms of the picks, we got Strog versus Doom, Eisen versus Sorlag, Nyx versus Visor. That's El Clasico right there.
It is indeed. I mean, as expected, you have a clutch ban come out, and it just opens up the pool so much for RAISY. So it's amazing that he's mastered it to the point where everyone has to ban it, and no one else has got to that point. So full credit to him. Gives him the Doom his favourites champion across virtually any map on Awoken. You'd have to favour him there. Nice to see Base coming out and countering that with a Strog. Could have definitely seen him playing a Nyx on this map, but that will actually give him a lot more utility, a bit more stack to work with. Hopefully he can set the tempo a little bit as well. That'd be really interesting. Moving on to Ruins, RAISY gets the Sorlag. Again, another favoured champion for him. Eisen is pretty decent counter to that, but again, it's going to be a tough ask if RAISY does manage to get a split on both major items and then begins to rotate. We know how painful he can be in terms of using that stack so well to close the gap. And then on Molten, we do have the Nyx come out for Base, so that's going to be the defensive play. And I guess the traditional counter in the Visor. Obviously, the questions around how much you use the piercing sight, I think it's going to be a safe bet to use it quite a lot against someone like Base and try and get as much uptime on that as you can.
At the very least, to deny vials from the Ghost Walk. You don't want to deal with aggressive Ghost Walk or anything like that, so Vision's going to play into it for sure. But if Dan had to put you up against the wall one last time, potentially, what are the predictions from you?
I'm gonna go for 3-0 RAISY. I think he's been a bit more consistent. I think I've seen some great stuff from Base, but I've also seen him be frustrated and dismantled by RAISY, and haven't seen him do the same the other way around.
Disrespect. Wheat, what do you got?
That's a bold prediction, Dan. Let's see how it plays out. I'm gonna have to say, if I was gonna go RAISY, I would say 2-1. I agree. RAISY, historically has the upper hand here. I kind of feel like both of these players are coming from I've gotten some L's that I did not expect to get, and I've got to get a W. So you know, I'm still going to give it to RAISY, but I can't imagine a 3-0. But, you know, crazier things have happened. We've had some super close games between everyone that's in the top. But I don't think that Base's number 7 spot right now is very indicative of how he's actually performed this. So let's see. I'm going to go 2-1 RAISY.
2-1 RAISY. The predictions are coming in, at least for map 1, and it is a landslide in favor of RAISY so far. I mean, I feel like I just have to go against both of you and say base 2-1, even though I know that's crazy, but that's Sundays are where you're going to be crazy, right?
I mean, is it crazy? Some of the games that we have seen between some of these, you know, guys as they've shared opponents have been so close, where a single fight has essentially dictated the winner of a map or two. So I don't think it's that crazy, 40.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. I know Dan is rolling his eyes thinking I'm crazy, but I'll just lock it at 2-1. Whatever. There it is, Dan. You're so handsome.
That's not your prediction, trust me.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to kick you out because you're very rude,
Nice.
and I want some time alone with Wheat. It's been a while, so I miss him. So, Dan, why don't you take a break? We're going to handle this one. Wheat, it's good to have you back as always. Weekend.
It's good to be back.
And yeah, I think you're right. I think this one is a good one. I feel like it could go either way, even though I locked in a 2-1 for base. But today has been a crazy set of games. We've seen some upsets. We've seen some nuts play. And even if we haven't seen the full upset, you know, we've seen 8 minutes of just absolute mind-boggling play that we didn't expect. And then at the last minute, you know, the player that we thought would win swoops back in. But it's definitely been kept interesting on this Sunday.
Yeah, and it's kind of what we've been expecting. We talked about it week over week, is that, you know, stage 2 is really exciting just based off of who is sort of emerging. You're seeing some players like really, you know, find comfortable sitting at the top, like Wenger is one on Awoken, and we're about to see that one coming up next, and that one's going to be crazy. But, you know, I look back at some of the matches between these two. RAISY versus Wenger was a 2-1 in favor of Wenger. Wenger versus Base was a 2-1 in favor of Wenger, but Base, you know, a couple of these games were by 1, by 2. So I'm just really excited about what we've got in front of us. And, you know, I'd love to see RAISY kind of show up. I feel like he's taken a little bit of a backseat as of late. And, you know, he needs to come back out, and we need to see why he is, you know, RAISY and everything that he's done in the last year and a half, 2 years, 3 years is, you know, we've seen a lot of people catching up to him. So yeah, I'm curious to see how it's going to play out.
Well, we'll see shortly here as we're going to go live on map number 1. Chat, make some noise. Also, lock in those side predictions. How many gauntlets what might we see as we're live on RAISY right now on Awoken versus Base?
How many, indeed? Will it be 1, 2, 5, 10? I don't know. That might be a little bit asking for a little bit too much. But we're starting things off on RAISY, and he has already picked up that mega. We're slowing things down right off the bat here, and I'm not surprised. Oh, almost went through that back hallway. There's a little trap set up for him, and Base is still holding off back there, but we do see an exchange as mega pops up, and quick exit. Wow, great rail from RAISY through that teleporter. Can't follow up with the second one, but already some early action.
Yeah, Base kind of gambled with that trap, and it all went horribly wrong because he cut himself off from both items by doing so. RAISY catches him out with the LG and takes that first frag relatively early, and now the control could be fully to RAISY. Needs to be careful. Here's the lower armor. Could catch him out with a rail, but just misses. Base, however, hits his.
That's a good exchange there. Base needed that one. You know, any of those rails that could kind of equalize things a little bit. We got heavy coming up. RAISY goes in, scoops it up, no problem. You get some LG damage, misses that rail, but is on the hunt. Great defensive rail coming out from Base. That's number 2 right there, but in that back hallway, who is going to come out on top of this? LG comes out, and it is going to be Base who ties it up, but of course, in the danger zone, has to heal back up here. And nice rocket.
Hope you're hungry, Base, because that rocket was just right in the old breadbasket. Good rocket from RAISY there, able to claim the mega and rotate back to the heavy. Base on the weak side of the map now. And I thought RAISY was going to get a rail off right there. I think he just stared at him through the telly, which is even more terrifying, if I'm honest, Weed.
Yeah, I agree. It's you got to be careful. That's a Scary one to look down. So here we see great LG from base. A lot of damage dished out with none in coming back. But now in this back corner, a couple rockets coming out here from RAISY. Nicely done. Rails down the peaker. And base now in a little bit of trouble. That rail is going to be big. Can't land another one to get out of there. I cannot believe they're exchanging damage. Like, wow. Oh my God. That was just, you know, RAISY was at a point, I think he could have just gone in there and just gone ham, but he decided not to. And base getting himself a frag and maybe even a follow-up here, as he does, making it 3-1 off of RAISY being maybe too confident in that mega room.
It's just looking too easy for base here. So he gets the full stack, keeping up that Stroyant, and yeah, you gotta imagine that RAISY should have just pushed with shotgun or something, but instead just tried to lob some damage his way, and base somehow makes magic out of a corner. 3-1, 2-frag lead, 3 minutes in, and slowing things down now. The items are split. There's not going to be a mega for 10 seconds, so base is just trying to position here while RAISY in the T-Con area taking so much damage from the peaker. Has to back up, but he's still showing him, giving him another angle, and base wants this so bad he can leave the mega up and just go for the frag.
The rails really making a big difference here, 40, and there's another one. 72% rail right now for base. He shot 12 and hit 8 of them. Very impressive, and definitely one of the reasons why we're seeing him perform as well as he is right now. Up by 4 now with 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, and is not only picking up everything that he needs in terms of the frags, but also these major items. And well, there's one. Mark it down, because a nice punch to the face will put RAISY back on the board, but base trying to run away with it. RAISY's able to stop him short and keep himself alive, following up with another one. And a lot of commitment, 40, between these two players in terms of fightings. And, well, that works out pretty well for RAISY.
Feels like every fight is going to be an all-in. There's a RAISY 25 HP, the rocket, the vertical rocket. Just a donk on the head here. So RAISY trying to look for a little more damage. Needs to be careful of that rail out from base, but he's going to take advantage of the wrong weapon out, and RAISY just pushes in with LG and has Mega to his back to restack.
I don't think he was going to let base get through another one. That time was exactly what I was expecting to see in that the last hallway exchange, where you come out, has the LG, very easily pinned him up against the wall, and suddenly this 3-4 frag lead from base has been diminished and is down to just 1. RAISY really bringing it back, trying to find some control and not going to let himself make the same mistake more than once. And got it. Nice exchange in the back hallway, but base is going to kind of on top, and he might be able to get a follow-up frag too.
Oh,
he does. Wow.
That's unfortunate for RAISY, but base is playing this so well, especially off the spawn, really making one frag and go the distance, and almost gets taken out. You can even see base shaking his mouse like, what just happened? That should have been cleaner, but he does get out of there. 8-4, just over the midway mark, Wheat. And did we expect this? I mean, I expected this, of course, but...
I think this is, you know, yes, it can be expected, but that's why I think we had such polarizing opinions on what the overall scores would be, right? And this is why base has been someone who has been performing, you know, the last couple stages. RAISY, yes, too, but I feel like base needs a little, you know, he needs a pick-me-up, right? He's had some unfortunate losses, but he's you know, sitting 3-2 with a 10-5 map record as well. He's a beast. You got to be careful. You got to, you know, respect someone like that.
Oh,
unreal.
What a rail. And this is so frustrating for RAISY. He thought he had the frag, and base pulls out a rail like that. His defensive damage is just so good right now.
Yeah.
Another rail, and RAISY has to be so careful with his next move, trying to make a move to at least steal the heavy, but he can't do it. Base with the denial, 10-4, and that is just so rough for RAISY.
That was huge and demoralizing in some ways too. It's, you think you have a solution here to what's going on, and it just doesn't happen at all. And now both players kind of backing out very, very low, knowing that they have to be careful. A single rail, or now both players with some armor. And is he going to catch him here in the middle? Base doing a lot of damage yet again. Peeker coming out. Going to try to see if he can. Notices him getting the heavy, but Base with a 6 frag lead right now as we get down to minute number 7 of this match at 40. And Base looking very, very strong here. Can RAISY bring it back?
Really, really strong, and we know how good Base is at playing defensive, and in this situation, he might default to, all right, well, you have to come to me, and you have to get 6 frags to even tie it, so I'm going to try and play my defensive game, which I'm very, very good at, and RAISY shuts that down immediately. Really good rocket to make sure Base doesn't escape. That's a good start, but I feel like Base still, he's going to take the resources that he can and play this hyper-defensive game for the next 2.5 minutes. RAISY has to do a great job and hit all his shots. That's a great rail right there into LG, and RAISY's rail is starting to heat up. Initially, he was hitting, I think, 1 of 10, and now he's starting to get a little bit better here.
Yeah, he needs it too, for sure. And he's also got to be careful because suddenly Base is going to get into that, well, you know what? I'm going to check myself before I say this. When we were at 4 or 5 frags lead for Base, I think that's when you got to worry about Base kind of going into a turtle mode. But RAISY is definitely keeping that pressure on. I mean, he is constantly chasing on the hunt, and he knows he needs to. He can't let Base get into a plus back mode, and much harder to do here on Awoken, but he's got that 3 frag lead, and it does give him some room to be able to do that. There's about 90 seconds left, and RAISY needs 3 frags. So we're having a big battle here at the heavy. A lot of rocket fire raining down. LG coming out for RAISY, trying to find that last bit of damage. Peeker comes out, but a little peek over the ledge, and suddenly this is a 2 frag game.
Is the timing going to be right for RAISY? He's hanging on by a thread, and it's not. So Base, even though he goes down at the heavy, it was worth it because he gets the frag, he gets the mega, and now he has the timing on the heavy as well, and he's still up 3 with a minute 10. This might be the danger zone for RAISY here. Oh my god! Wow.
Oh, well, that was very nice. He's got a minute now. 2 frags, 40. This is an order. It's not the tallest order we've ever seen, and I do think it is possible. Base, though, getting very aggressive there with that LG in the Mega Room. It's going to pay off a 3 frag lead yet again with 45 seconds left to go. And I think this one is going to end up going in favor of Base, but don't expect RAISY to let off the gas anytime soon. Even in the final 30 seconds, the chase is on. Machine gun out any damage that he can get, because off the spawn, that could be where he puts a frag back together. And there it is. Needs 2 more. 20 seconds. Can he do it? Don't think he can. But we got to try to make this as exciting as possible. 40 already been a great game, but I think Base is going to take away this first one.
Yeah, great way to start the series, but you even saw Base a little bit of insurance, making sure he uses all of that respawn timer. He's like, I'm not in a rush to get back in this arena right now, as RAISY will close in. Will he get this last one?
I'm just going to let the silence speak for itself here.
Right. Just let it breathe.
I did. No. I let it breathe. All right, I looked over. I'm like, 40 is muted. I don't know what's going on over there, but we're just going to let this one play out.
I sometimes like to talk to just the stream and just make my co-caster wonder. No, I don't know what's going on right now. But the problem is, it's not really a problem, but Dan, if you're buying Dan's advice, I highly recommend against it. I think he said a 3-0. Completely wrong. I just want to point that out more. I don't know who that was. I thought Dan was supposed to be out. What is this? But no, a great display from Base. I mean, it is not easy to take down RAISY like that, and he made it look kind of easy. The scoreline very close at the end. I'll agree, RAISY had the hope of coming back, but Base did what he needed to. He kind of had the cushion where he could give up a couple frags. He took a couple of the last items to make sure that he could run away and do the damage he needed to, and maybe even off the spawn get that refrag to keep RAISY away and make sure they did get the victory.
There was a lot of really impressive rails there at the beginning. You can see what he ended up there, 57%, but we were up to 72 at one point. When Base hit his 12th rail, he'd only missed 4 at that point. Nailing 8 that early on is really what allowed him to kind of pull ahead. And I think RAISY had those moments, right? At one point it was 1-4, 1-5. RAISY brought it back. We had a tie game, but somehow Base was always able to just stay a few strides ahead of RAISY to take game number 1. Now, moving over to Ruins. So we've got RAISY on the Sorlag and Base on the Eisen. I can't imagine that RAISY's happy with those results, and with this little matchup here, I think that this is where he's going to have to turn it on. But bases heat up. He's already warm, and we're gonna have to see what happens here in this next one. But I don't know. What do you think? That was again another close game, 10-12, and that's kind of what I expected to see between these two.
I definitely expect another close game here on Ruins, but I also expect RAISY to play a little more aggressive. He's got the Sorlag with the stack and the spit. I know the turret might be a detriment to, dive in on the heavy and things like that, but I think other parts of the map, RAISY's just going to try and pounce and do as much damage as he can. Shotgun, spit, that combo. And again, I want to see a gauntlet. No disrespect to base. I just love seeing gauntlet kills. I feel like this is the map where RAISY might start popping off and might hit him with the beep boop. We'll see. I mean, the story of the day would be if base takes the set 2-0 right off the bat against RAISY. Anything can happen on a Sunday, but I really feel like RAISY's going to bounce back on this one, and he's going to be able to play a little more aggressive, which plays into how he likes to play.
And in the final weeks, as we lead into the finals, 40, it is so important for placement overall. I mean, we've talked about the battle that is happening over on the EU side for those top few spots, and this is no exception. It could change a lot, these wins right here. And lately, I mean, RAISY, unfortunately, has kind of been losing that top spot, and he needs to get as close as he can to get it back. So we are under the action now, starting things off with the RAISY. Take us away.
Hyper aggressive right off the bat. Trying to damage as much as he can on the Mega. He's going to rotate back to the heavy. Split is pretty big between the items, and RAISY's going to try and get this spit back as quick as he can. Drops down into the LG and already has the spit. Also has the shotgun. Base has to be very careful. There's the spit to make sure he doesn't press forward and has to force his way out of there. But this could be curtains, and it is. Base just gets tracked down. And unfortunately for him, RAISY has the perfect timing on the Mega as well. And the drop. And this is already
40.
a rough start.
You just can feel it, right? Watching through the perspective of RAISY, you can see it in his movement. You could see it in his aim. There's bloodthirst there. And if that 1 minute and 2 frags is any indication, I think RAISY is going to give base everything that he absolutely has. This could be really interesting as he is playing so aggressive right now, and it is working.
Really good positioning there. I thought it was going to backfire, and I thought Mega was going to go to him, but the spit and the LG combination did so much damage before base can even make a move. He does sneak in on the heavy and steal that away from RAISY, which is going to make sure that at least he could be in contention for the next item, but RAISY's just going to post up. Almost gets a rail shot here, but as long as he keeps getting spit back up and at least gets one of the 50 shards, I think RAISY's just going to keep his foot on the gas.
I think so too, and it would make a lot of sense. He's got the confidence, he's got the skills to be able to do it. We know Mega's picked up. RAISY now waiting for his opponent to come in. Huge direct rocket. Spit goes down to protect that entrance, and there's oh my god! Oh my god, that was so awesome. The rocket jump to try to get that heavy. And base was ready for it. He somehow nails RAISY coming out with that huge momentum and puts his first frag on the board. I love this series already.
Oh, RAISY just edges him out. The stack a little bit too big. Base almost had a great swing of momentum, but RAISY will get the frag and get the Mega, and that was incredible. That rocket jump to try and get out and steal the heavy, and base with the denial. Such a good read.
I mean, that was after direct rocket and the spit too, right? It was just such a perfect setup there for RAISY, and then the unfortunate turnaround at base. Suddenly he goes, I can be aggressive too, RAISY.
Yeah, this is just really good adaptation. RAISY hears him at the last minute and says, this is not safe. Gets out of there, luckily dodges that rail. Base is going to drop down though. There's big rockets. RAISY with the nail has to... Oh, no. I thought he was just going to get away. He went for the rail on his way out and got punished. Base is picking up the pace right now. This is a bloodbath on Ruins. Not as slow as we might have thought. This is just all action right now. Oh, I love it.
I am in. Oh, my goodness. I am so here for this right now. This is 3 minutes in, 8 frags, and these 8 frags haven't been, long range boops. They have been in your face. You made a wrong decision, or here's a direct rocket, or a beautiful rail. and I like the way we're going. Now, RAISY's still with that momentum, but Base is certainly not going to let off his gas either. And where will we have our next battle? Might be here at the Mega, and it is. RAISY throwing out the spit after getting rail and dropping down to the lower levels. Going to be really early for that heavy. Just going to make his way back around. Unfortunately, not able to get back over to that Mega, and we'll be giving it to Base. But we'll have heavy battle happen here in just a moment. And RAISY might just give that up too. He did.
Yeah, conceding a lot. Not really confident in the position to deal damage. Doesn't want to get seen. Doesn't want to take any damage. Base with a huge stack. Might get caught out around the corner. Needs to be careful. There's the spit. There's a little bit of rocket, but Base didn't really get the rough end of that one. Has a 25 to negate the damage, but he goes for more damage. Now he's going to end up taking spit damage, and RAISY's going to be able to track him, but this is a little bit of a trap here from Base. Can he make it work? And he can't. So close. Can he push off this? Oh my god! So close to missing it. And that was a really good play from Base. He kind of kited him down there. He had the Timmy turret.
Yeah.
Wanted to LG him, almost got the frag, but at the very least he got both items, and now RAISY's still really weak, needs to be really careful as Base is just trying to catch him out and hit one of these rails at least.
We're just seeing some phenomenal skills on display here, 40, and, you know, RAISY giving up both of those majors in order to secure the next two. And of course, Base does shut that down. He is down by 2, but Base gonna go LG in hand, does manage to get the frag as his opponent's dropping down. Heavy is up, can delay that by a couple of seconds. We do see RAISY going back over into that area. I'm not sure that was the smartest move, but he hits the rail and hits a second one. You saw him, he was leaving. He was like, I can't take this fight. And then he hit the rail. He's like, actually, on second thought, he U-turned, lands the second one, keeps his 2-frag lead. What a game we've got here.
Yeah, and Base just wanted to push the advantage, and RAISY said, you will respect me. Hitting the rails, chaining them together, 2-frag lead, but Base was also heating up. He had some momentum, and now it's all gone. He will grab the heavy, but RAISY with the spit, almost feeling himself on that one, almost gets the rail, positioning himself well for this Mega. Base has to be careful here. He's just trying to look for any kind of angle he could find.
Ooh, Mega is going to come back.
Oh no, that was just brutal as he went through the spit in the LG, and now off the spawn, RAISY should be able to capitalize, but the shotgun does so much damage.
A lot of damage right off the spawn, and now stuck in this back little area. Turret does come out, easily dispatched, and the rail, 27 points of health, and then the machine gun to finish it off. 9-5, and RAISY kind of playing out of his mind. We saw the aggression from Base really matched early on, but 6 minutes and 35 seconds in, and you said RAISY's feeling himself, and he definitely is. I think he is playing to the pace that he wants. And although he has, in several instances, given up a position in major items, he's always been able to claw it back, and now a 4-frag lead. We're going to have our next battle here at the heavy. Well, at least Base was thinking about it. RAISY's going to grab it. Now he's going out for the hunt, 40.
Rocket jump up, super aggressive into the spit, and Timmy gets deployed, and RAISY needs to be careful, but Base is just too weak. RAISY just using all of that thick Sorlag stack to his advantage, knowing exactly how much damage he can take, and by taking all those fights and then having the items up afterwards, denying Base anything on the map.
Got yet another fight at the heavy. A lot of LG coming out here from Base. He's going to definitely pick up a frag, and he does. Earns himself the heavy on top of that. Now, I would still say that RAISY needs to certainly be careful. Down or up by 4 frags, but a lot can happen here. And big map, so RAISY can go into a bit more of a defensive style if he wishes. But as we get closer and closer to the 2-minute warning, what is Base going to do to make up these 4 frags?
He's stuck in a position where he has to start making Hail Mary plays that might not be the most optimal. If he wants to take this set 2-0, and RAISY is just going to play hyper defensive. He's no stranger to playing super defensive if he needs to. There's the rocket pop into the spit, the ticking, and Base hop, skipping a jump over those rockets, and I don't understand how he did that, but he stays alive. The LG's fantastic from Base, gets the frag, but now Can he push the advantage? And he's going to ride the lightning all the way down. The rockets are going to be good, but the LG from RAISY is just too strong. With the minute 30, almost gets that rail off the spawn. I think RAISY has what he needs to try and ice this one out, Weed.
I think so. That was a really great read and decision there by RAISY. Base does manage to pick up another one, a great rail, but RAISY just played it from an LG position there on the stairs, making it really hard to hit from up top. And he could have easily just gone down into the heavy, but it was just so well played. And as we breach the final minute here, another battle at the heavy. These two really like to go down in this ring. And once again, RAISY's going to come out on top, making a 4-frag lead. And with less than a minute to go, we are going to be tied 1 map apiece. How exciting. It could still go either way. And what is our final map? Molten. It's going to be an interesting one.
Molten, Nyx, Visor, the classic setup, and it all comes down to that. It couldn't get any better, This is why Quake is... The Sundays are for Quake, and Quake is the best game in the world. I said it.
I agree. It is, especially in these types of situations where we just get these phenomenal games.
Brutal.
Yeah,
there's not much you could do, right? This is done.
There's not, right? I think this is show-off time a little bit here in the final 10 seconds, and RAISY gonna get away there with a 5-frag lead in this map. So a little bit more than what Base was able to put together on Awoken, but it means that we are going to go to a very exciting third map that is going to have us at 1-1 between these two. Molten of Visor for RAISY versus the Nyx of above Base. But what do you think? I mean, roles reversed. RAISY, a lot of aggression there. Base was matching it early on, but eventually RAISY throwing around a little bit more weight and able to secure that one pretty easily.
Was so good. The rocket escape just didn't work. And yeah, I mean, RAISY had the stack to burn, and he loves to play hyper aggressive, especially with that spit. You get that tick damage. You can't really escape. You get stuck in an odd position. So good job on RAISY's part to kind of clap back after that first map and take us to a third as the decider. But this is exciting because it's Molten. It's the third map. It decides the series, but also because I just love this matchup. It's very classic. It's Nyx versus Visor, direct counters, and I think it's really going to come down to who can control the vials and get their ability off more. So that's going to be very exciting to watch, especially with their playstyles, to see if it's hyper defensive still from Base or hyper aggressive from RAISY, depending on how he feels. Still no Gauntlet though, Weed, so I'm upset about that. But how do you feel about it?
I mean, about the Gauntlet or about the matchup? The Gauntlet,
well,
I'm indifferent about. If it makes sense, if it comes out, if it's awesome, great. What I think is going to be the most challenging here, and yes, sort of a counter to the two, this seems like a perfect situation for Base to be a frustrating player in this matchup, right? With the Ghost Walk, and it's not going to allow RAISY to dictate, I think, the flow and the pace as much as he would like to, as he did in Ruins. So that's going to be the deciding factor. Now, does that mean that RAISY can't dictate? No, absolutely. What happened in the last map could absolutely happen here, but Base is kind of set up in this perfect spot. I think to be more frustrating. I'm curious how RAISY's going to respond to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the predictions are rolling in. And at first, it looked like 80-20 RAISY. I think Base is getting a little more respect on his name, but the chat seems to have spoken here. They believe in RAISY. But yeah, it all comes down to this week. Map number 3 to decide this one. It's going to be an exciting one. Again, Nyx versus Visor, one of my favorite matchups just because direct counters to each other. It should be, hopefully, a bloodbath. We'll see. It could be 1-0, too.
I doubt that is going to happen, but it could be. You're absolutely right. I think a lot will come off on these opening seconds. Will we see something a little bit more tempered and slow, or will we see both players? A lot of that can just come down to the spawn itself. So here we are, Molten, game 3. Take us away, 40.
Live on Molten, indeed, and we're going to start off on RAISY. He's going to start off on the Mega. Holding on to that site, at least for now, and I like that play a lot, as Base wants the shotgun, has the rail already. A little bit of LG as well, and is it going to be a trap at the rail? I mean, he doesn't have rockets to really do so, I think he just saw his shoulder. There's a great rail around the corner as RAISY trying to rain some rockets back, but no dice, so... First blood spilled by Base, but Will he get the frag off the back of that? We shall see.
He's going to go try to steal away that Mega. Probably going to be successful as RAISY's just going to slip in and say, cool, I'm going to take the heavy. A great rocket from up above from base. And although the piercing sight was popped, it really didn't do much. In fact, base on the run now, or on the chase, down to 5 points of health. And base does pick up that first frag. 1 minute into this one, 40. And that was a pretty nice start there from base.
Yeah, held on to the Ghost Walk until he knew vision was down, and then it was just a free chase for base there. A little bit sloppy with the shotgun, but he got the job done. Heavy will go to RAISY. Can he get the flick shot off? And base just missing out on an opportunity there. RAISY will get out unscathed. Vision is back up, but Ghost Walk will be back up for base as well, and I feel like base is just going to hold on to it until he hears the vision popped or until he can set a trap and aggressively play on RAISY. But good start here as rails are exchanged from both players. Here's that aggressive play, wants to get over to the Mega immediately, and he does to steal it away, and RAISY's just using vision to try and figure out exactly where base went and cut him off, and there it is, there's the play! Is it going to be good enough? The LG so good, and RAISY has nothing.
I have to wonder if RAISY meant to actually hit that jump pad. Base takes the opportunity, lands an easy rail. Now base up 2-0, and what a phenomenal play that we just saw, 40, right? Stealing away that Mega, and then it was pretty risky play to just barrel over to that heavy and go right for it. He had an idea of where RAISY was going to be, and now we've got another battle happening here at the heavy. Base just above, trying to drop those rockets down. Up the jump pad, RAISY goes, again hit by those rails, and once again, base hitting an 80% rail. 4 of his shots out of 5 have hit.
And that chunky rocket around the corner, RAISY is just dazed and confused after that one, but base is playing a great game right now.
Yeah, I mean, RAISY has kind of the kit that he needs to bring this one back. I think he's slowed this down a little bit. There we see the piercing sight is popped, and base is just going to slow roll it back into the middle of the map. Both players kind of playing sneaky, and we're going to have an exchange here. They both know exactly where it is. Base will steal away that Mega yet again, barrels on over to that heavy. It's not up quite yet, but he is going to get it.
And this is just so frustrating for RAISY. You can't even really get to the point to contest or deal damage on the items, and base just gets free reign. There's a good rocket around the corner, but base's stack is still massive.
Ghost Walk. Mega's back up. Exchange of rails. Both miss. But once again, I mean, base is just doing a phenomenal job with control here. 7 Megas to the 1. And hold on, here in the middle, almost a mid-air rocket. Base does have to retreat, though, as both players incredibly low. Base is going to head back over to the Mega, but there's nothing there. 250 or 225s down below. Pick that back up. Base still in this lead. And you were right. You said it might be 1-0. And it's not 1-0, but this has definitely been a slower game with still a lot of action, a lot of damage coming out there. And there's the double rail from RAISY to put himself on the board.
That was so good. RAISY, right after he hit that, he knew exactly where base was going, and he's like, I need this angle right now, and he converts, and that is just huge from RAISY here. Base will get back in on that heavy. But yeah, low scoring as we get closer to the 5-minute mark, and I think this is kind of... Base is not safe place, but he's okay playing with a 1 frag lead, just playing hyper defensive. There's the shotgun trying to get damage. Ghost Walk, as he hits the panic button, has to give up the Mega, and he has to get out of there ASAP.
Yeah, that was kind of too bad for base. I think he misread that one just a little bit. He probably could have easily secured that Mega, but RAISY not going to make it easy. He is also going to tie this one up for himself, as both players now with 2 frags as we hit the 5-minute mark. And I think RAISY just playing slow and steady, looking for those opportunities, that rocket, those rails. And this is exactly what we're seeing doing, sending base running away, letting RAISY chase 40, something that we haven't seen him do too much, but he's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, and playing as a Nyx, it's so hard when you're behind, so Base has to be super careful and not give this up, but RAISY, relentless, hitting rails, almost hits and converts that into a frag. Base is so incredibly weak, does have the Ghost Walk up. Luckily for him, RAISY's going to go maintain control of the heavy. And is Base going to stick around here to try and steal away this Mega? He has no armor to his name. He hears RAISY come through. There's the Ghost Walk. Fantastic rocket. But the Mega's there, and Base knows that he can't really turn that into anything after that Mega pickup.
Yeah, and I don't think RAISY knew exactly what Mega timing was at that point. I could be wrong, but he played that one very smart going into it. Now he has both items pretty locked in, and he is going to grab that heavy. This is not really bode well for Base, who, if you recall, in those first 5 minutes was really doing him. Oh my God, how did
These
that
angles
even hit? That's insane. And now he's on the chase down below. Oh no! Base with the suicide rocket off of the skull of RAISY. And now RAISY takes the lead 2-1.
And that is heartbreaking. And RAISY's going to keep his foot on the gas. You have to imagine he wants a couple comfort frags. But just over 3 minutes left. Low scoring, but still full of action as the rail comes out from Base. RAISY chasing around the corner, has the vision just in case, but the rockets from Base prevail. Wow, and the Mega right there. Vision pop from RAISY as he wants to know exactly what Base is up to off the spawn so he could try and get some early damage. Make sure that Base doesn't get a good stack going.
Yeah, I think maybe RAISY was hoping that Ghost Walk was going to get popped there and didn't necessarily expect him to just take the fight. We do have this fight over heavy, a bunch of nice rockets and a great rail as well. Still not enough to clinch the frag, but we're going to have Mega up here any moment, coming around that corner and looking down. He heard the Nyx. Oh, and it lands the rail. Base very, very low, and there's the piercing sight. Now RAISY, though, unfortunately on the other side of the map, not able to do much, but anticipating nice shot. Another great rail. Base low yet again. Doesn't have a whole lot of options on where he can go. And we're tied still 2-2 as we breach these final few minutes of the game.
Base just has nothing to work with. A Ghost Walk to his name, and that's it. And he has to play so patient. Is he going to go in for this? He is, and it's going to cost him his life. RAISY with the vision gets the frag, and Base has to be shaking his head. 2 minutes now. And this looks like it might be RAISY's here. He's got to play perfect. There's still time, but if he starts getting maybe 2, 3 of the next major items, it's going to be crazy. And oh my no.
That was awesome. I mean, that was perfect for RAISY. He played that one very, very well. He wasn't really playing defensively. He was just playing statically. And to get another frag to potentially just clench this one up, might be able to do it right here. Great rockets coming in from Base, but it's going to be the shotgun to shut Base down. RAISY now 5.
Oh, there it is!
Make it 6-2. You got it, 40.
We all get what we want, Weed, except for Base, and it's snowballing out of control because there's no choice. With a minute 10 as a Nyx on Molten, you have to push, and this was so insanely close for like 8 minutes and 25 seconds. It's just, you gotta give your, I don't know, your praises to Base, but oh, RAISY, please! He's got a family! Oh my God, the shotgun. Laying down the hammer, but RAISY will pull away with this one, but it was a lot closer than this scoreline.
What is going on?
They're making up for the lack of frags in the beginning. They're like, all right, we got to put on a show.
And I mean, I know Base is like, well, I've got to do something to bring it back. But, you know, RAISY was like, yeah, I'm going to start playing now. I wouldn't say that he was, he was tanking it or anything like that. No, I mean, but holy crap, like RAISY just coming out in this last minute to show where he is actually at. Nicely done, 10-2. RAISY is going to take this series, 40, 2-1, but well deserved. And what an incredible game and series these two gave us.
Yeah, well deserved. Absolutely, and just hats off to RAISY for playing as patient as he needed to. Hats off to Base, he was so close. That drop onto Mega, I think RAISY had the vision pop, so he read it 100% of the way, and BAYSY just dropped it. Or BAYSY again. That damn name, Dan. Anyways, RAISY got the drop on base, and yeah, he just kind of flexed on him near the end there. That LG to Gauntlet kill, that's going in the highlight reel. But let's bring back Dan and see if he could flex for us too. Dan, what did you think of what we just saw?
It was a really good game. Map 1 was amazing. Nice to see RAISY warming up 28 minutes into the game finally, which was good fun. But it was super close. Love to see more aggression from base. Like the way he played Nyx is quite uncharacteristic. He was trying to be so proactive around the map and catching RAISY off guard a lot of times. So RAISY looked uncomfortable for large periods of time. But in the end, his resilience shone through, and he was getting warmed up and was making less and less mistakes throughout the series, which was really nice. And I think map 2 played out as expected as well. Got the saw lag, was bullying his opponent. It's really hard for base to kind of stabilize after a poor start as well.
Dan, when you threw out that 3-0, did you imagine that the games were going to go like basically how that last minute went for RAISY, where it was just like, I just imagine was probably the source of that 3-0.
No, I think with base, no matter who he plays, it's always going to be incredibly close. Like he's the master of defense and keeping in the game, and so I expected RAISY to come out 3-0. I will say he looks very rusty on map 1, but then base also played it phenomenally well as well. So
yeah,
it was well deserved 2-1 either way.
Yep. Well done. RAISY needed that one. It's gonna keep base down there in like the number 6-7 spot.
It's just insane to sit here and look at that and say that map was not 10-2. Like that map was 2-2 for and then just this explosion of spawn frag. And again, like you said, I get it. Base had to make a move, but just the conversions from RAISY, LG after LG after LG, and really well done from RAISY to take that. We're working currently on getting him in here. We're gonna have a chat with him, so hang in there, chat. But really good set, RAISY. Showing the world why he's RAISY. But again, hats off to base. I feel like base played really well. Strong start. Whether or not RAISY was in the zone or not for that first map, base played really well, and I feel like he really had a shot too there at the end. I think that mega drop was just, I don't know if it was miscalculated or if the vision just gave RAISY the edge, but yeah, that was a little brutal there for base. But he played so well for like 8 minutes and 15 seconds that it's heartbreaking, especially as a Nyx. Like it's really difficult to play that well. And yeah, you got to feel for base.
It's kind of life of the Nyx, though.
Huh?
What?
I said that's kind of the life of a Nyx.
Oh. Yeah.
Agree. Yeah. I mean, you pick into that knowing that you're going to have just a rough time and have to play perfectly for sure.
It's just so fascinating because it really does feel like RAISY at the end there was like, all right, enough of your shit. Like I'm just gonna play how I know I can play, and I not to say that he was not trying again, but it was just so incredible the fire, how hot those flames got there in those last couple minutes.
Just like execute RAISY.exe. He's like, all right, I'm just gonna frag you a bunch of times in the last minute now. Give people what they want. Here's a gauntlet too, but yeah. I don't know. The life of a Nyx is a hard one, like Dan said. So shouts to base, valiant effort. But we have RAISY in the studio with us, so let's get him in here and have a quick chat. RAISY, congratulations on that victory.
Thank you. Hey guys.
How's it going? Congrats.
What's running through your head there? That last map specifically. I mean, it was like 8 minutes neck and neck, and then you pull away after that mega drop, and then you just explode with so many frags. How did that last map feel specifically for you?
Well, I was very frustrated, most of it myself. I haven't really been playing the way I want to, and towards the end I kind of took it out on him. I'm sorry, but it's not against him, it's more against myself. But yeah, the reason I exploded was because he kind of had to come at me, so I just kept fragging him because I was still in control. But yeah, it was very tough. I couldn't really get proper control throughout this whole matchup, really. But I feel like I've made so many mistakes that I'm just really annoyed by, and I should know better, but I keep making those mistakes. And that's why, for example, I lost the first map. I keep over aggroing on him, and I just keep losing my stack, whereas I could just stand back, wait for the items to spawn, and then attack. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Bloodthirsty. Bloodthirsty.
Probably.
I mean, as a follow-up to that, Razi, is there a little bit about Base's play style that brings some of that out? You know, he plays a very specific way. You kind of want to play your way. Is the frustration there at all, just in sort of the clash of those styles?
Not really. I used to be really annoyed by this passive play style, like a year ago or so. But lately I've been okay with playing against any kind of play style, and I felt like I was doing well. I felt like I kind of found like an answer to anything really, especially throughout the last finals. But this season, the beginning was alright. Now I'm a little bit more worried. I don't really know what's different. I have to figure stuff out, but I'm struggling.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
Dan, yeah, what do you got?
Do you get paid by the frag by Maestro?
No.
No, I guess not.
Can't divulge that information, Dan. I don't know why you think you could just get that information.
Just got to ask it. But no, I mean, you say you don't know what's wrong. But moving into the finals then, have you got then a bit of a plan of what you want to change? Because, okay, what is your strategy moving into the finals? Because you have to kind of sit down and diagnose your game. But if you don't know what's wrong, how do you go about fixing that?
Well, I kind of have an idea, but I just don't know why I cannot change it. I know what to do, but I just keep doing something else, and it doesn't work. But I'll try to do what I think I should do, and then we'll see if it works.
Very conspicuous.
Excellent.
I like it. Not giving anything away.
Can't give away the trade secrets. Can't give away the trade secrets. Does anyone else have any follow-ups?
No, just congratulations. It was a very entertaining series to watch, and especially that last minute. We enjoyed it. So congrats, Razi.
Thank you very much.
Congrats, and never feel bad about taking it out on your opponent in the arena. Right? We're all big
it's not
fans.
personal,
so-
I swear.
It's never personal in the arena, but congrats, Razi, on the victory. Thanks for hanging out with us, and take care.
Thank you. See you guys.
See ya.
So, I mean, yeah. That's a Razi who's frustrated with his play style, still can pull out the victory, wants to get back to form where he's just dominating. So whatever he needs to work on, again, didn't give away the trade secrets. I understand why. There's 4 weeks left to the stage finals. You want to tweak some stuff. Maybe you don't want to give it away, but you know, he's gonna work it out. He's gonna work out the kinks, Dan. All right, stop being.
I mean, it's
a bully.
fixable. We saw it in the last minute and a half that it is so. But no, I get it. Sometimes it's fascinating to hear like that. I know what I need to fix. I keep making the same mistakes, right? Where so much of Quake is about muscle memory and just about experiencing the same moments over and over, and those can be the hardest things to fix because our brains just immediately say, all right, I'm gonna do what I normally do here. And it's like, shit, that's not what I was supposed to do. It's a tough thing to change. So I can appreciate.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear that he's frustrated by things like he is so deadpan on camera when you're watching him play. You never think that anything gets to him, but also that even someone of his level is now finding some mental playstyle struggles, even though you think they're at such a high and developed stage. That just shows how everything keeps evolving and everyone's playstyle keeps evolving, and you have to keep on top of your own game. It's not just you get in your groove and that's it. It shows how good again Rafa is to keep ahead of everyone else the whole time as well.
Absolutely, adaptation is key. But we have one more featured match coming your way, everybody. So stay tuned. We got Wenger and Awoken to end the day. Quite the featured matchup, but we're going to make you wait for it. We'll be back in just a little bit with the last set of the day.